Number 4, and this one's near and dear. This number 4 was mine. Of course, we all have the issue. It's just one that's dear to my heart. National Dairy Producers Organization supports immediate federal legislation to further regulate importation of milk and milk products, including milk protein concentrates, that might prove detrimental to producer profitability. In 2009, we were told that world supplies increased dramatically because demand went down. Our dollar got stronger, and we got stuck with a whole bunch of production they couldn't sell in the world. And so, again, our price was we were the only ones that suffered that price decline. But did anybody tell you that up to 15% of our milk was displaced by imports, and many of those imports are not even recorded as imports subject to tariffs? There are milk ingredients coming in, for example, cheese ingredients. Glucanol is a new one. It's a corn product that's imported. Could be included in as much as 2% of cheese now. On top of that, we have milk protein concentrates coming in that policymakers, by people we paid large sums of money to, policymakers in DC were asked to please allow a free pass on milk protein concentrates because we need them and we're not making them in this country. So they're coming in, offsetting our own milk production, creating a huge surplus in 2009. MPCs were imports were at their highest level, I think, ever in 2009. I have data back there to prove it. And when milk protein concentrates were allowed to come into this country, they were a glue base, strictly non-consuming glue base. Now they put it in cheese, added to 100 pounds of your milk, increases cheese yields by 15 to 18%, depending on the type of cheese. Then it's sold to the government, that surplus, and it's spun back that we're producing too much milk. There's a big part of this story that's been missing. We want to fix that. That's our number 4. There's about an hour lecture that goes behind every one of these points, by the way. Number 5, another one near and dear to all of us. National Dairy Producers Organization will seek improved legislation for country of origin labeling. 100% American label, or 100% USA, and improvement of U.S. inspection standards as import tools to ensure food safety as it relates to milk imports intended for U.S. customers. A few quick points. Country of origin labeling was introduced in the Schumer Act, Schumer from New York, a year ago. We did a little bit of study in my office and discovered that many of the ingredients and products coming into this country are not covered in the Schumer bill. The folks back in New York are aware of this. We're going to expand the language in that bill to include all milk products, milk source products. We also don't need the government's approval to put a new label on 100% American made products. My goodness, every single person in this room has an article of clothing on that tells you where that clothing is made. Your kids' toys. They're pushing that stroller out right now. That stroller, we know where all of that stuff is made. Why don't we know where our food is made? I was at one of the meetings in DC, and a lot of meetings, but one of the meetings where we had FDA, USDA answering this MPC, milk protein concentrate, some of these questions about safety. And the USDA gentleman pounded on the table and said, we go to where we import these MPCs from, and they are grade A plants. The question promptly became, but what about the milk going over into those plants? Oh, we don't check that. Now you also need to know that less than 1% of all these powders that come into this country are inspected. Now, of course, we all know about the melamine deaths in China. It came up again last year. The 2 individuals that were found guilty in China about 3 years ago were hung. And then again, this came up again last year in China. We import from China, India, mainly New Zealand, Russia, but we don't know where that milk came from. Really, it's powder, really what milk that is. But those MPCs are in a very large amount of the pizza cheese that you eat. And we want to fix that. We want everybody to understand what's going on with this. And 100% USA means just that. No imports included in a product whatsoever.